Hello, hello. This has been a question that has really been at the forefront of my mind for I don't know how long. What separates humans and AI? Before the ChatGPT craze, it was something that I really wondered about and really wanted to try to get to the bottom of. As we've seen, machine learning has really had a big boom, right? But for the uninitiated, we aren't there yet. We aren't at a aware entity, right? Awareness and consciousness are still far from what LLMs and transformers can accomplish. So far, the best they can do is imitate the process of human communication with training. But of course, things improve and things get better, right? And I like to take the idea to the natural extreme that people tend to gravitate towards. But what makes us different? What separates us from the machines? After all, we've seen that they can compose poetry, art, and a whole myriad of human-like behavior. And like I said, this is simply imitating the process of human communication. But there is talk of the AGI, right? Artificial General Intelligence, supposedly capable of generating new emergent ideas of its own volition. But what makes us different? What separates humans and AI? I usually point out the similarities with computers and humans and how, machines use processes found in nature, mathematics, or even humans. That's where the term neural network comes from for the computing that we enjoy today. I like to make the comparison that, computers have short-term memory, long-term memory, and sometimes need to rest, and depending on the software that you possess, some people run on Windows 95 and some people run on more updated operating systems. The operating system, of course, being your upbringing, and the underlying kernel being the very nature and essence of human instinct, right? And of course, the brain, or CPU, being a different architecture and different ways that the software interacts with the architecture for it to produce different effects. And I like to mention this comparison a lot, so I wouldn't be surprised if I kept bringing it up in future videos and referring back to this one for context. But the essence of the idea, right, is that machines are more and more in the shape of humans, right? So what's the line? What separates us? If a machine becomes essentially physically a human, right? Well then, how can we consider it any different from ourselves? And a lot of people would bring up the argument like, oh, it doesn't have a soul, it doesn't have a spirit. But those are also things that are hard to define, right? I like something that is a little more concrete and a little more tangible. So the solution that I came up for myself, my own personal consistency, is the nature of the CPU itself, the brain. The human brain is a marvelous organ, and even though it's basically just a piece of fatty jello stuck inside of a cranium, right? It's fascinating what it can do, produce, and make. And a CPU is a intensely innovative and powerful tool. However, what separates the two is the aforementioned gelatinous nature of the brain. The brain is capable of rearranging itself, of changing itself, whether it be of external stimulus that changes the nature of the brain, or of the brain's own volition, to learn a new instrument, to learn a new language, to interact with new people, and to do new things. All of these affect the brain and the mind. Our ability to change is, well, as some people say, we rewire our brains, right? But a little more technically speaking, we could say that we improve our neuroplasticity. That is what I think separates us. Is this where consciousness lies? I do not know. But for now, I encourage you to learn something new. Take an uncommon path. Meet someone you haven't met before. It may literally change your mind. Thank you very much for listening, and remember to stay human out there.